Thank you for joining us, and now the news in detail. On the sidelines of this year's Commission on the Status of Women held recently in New York, the Minister of Women and Gender overseeing the Office of the Vice President, Madam Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang, took time out of her busy schedule to meet Gambians based in New York. As we hear in this report by Edna Musubaji, the meeting with the Gambian community in New York discussed crucial issues.
The president of the United Gambian Association in New York, Ibu Cham, expressed delight in welcoming the Secretary of State for Women and Gender Issues, overseeing the Office of the Vice President, Madam Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang, and her entourage, and said that he, on behalf of the Gambians in New York, congratulates the new government and assured them of their support. He also said that inasmuch as they are ready to support the new government, they also need the government to facilitate timely delivery of passports by the Gambia mission rather than having to travel home to get a passport. He also lamented the high rate of call tariffs and said that the government should help in that regard.
With
the issue of passports, which is everyone's need, I will tell you what is left. That is, during Jawara time, we used to get 5 years visa. If you have American passport, being a Gambian, and $100 we get only 1 year visa. And secondly, the calling card we were using during Jawara's time, a $5 card, we used to get 50 minutes. But since the Gambia government got involved, a $5 card now gives you just 8 minutes.
The Imam of the association, Abubakar Kamara, said that women play an important role in nation building as well as in religion, and therefore expressed delight in the Gambia's delegation in attending the Commission on the Status of Women meeting in New York. Others who spoke re-echoed similar sentiments and added their voice in congratulating the new government. Dr. Aissatou Toure thanked the Gambian community and assured them that their concerns will be looked into. Overseeing the Office of the Vice President, Madam Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang also thanked the Gambian community for the warm welcome accorded her and her entourage. She went on to say that her government will always put the interests of the Gambia and its people first before any other thing, and assured them that all the concerns raised will be looked into and due consideration given to them.
In our government, we believe in one Gambia, one people who are equal in the eyes of God, and therefore should share ideas and work together for a better Gambia.
She urged them to be patient with the government, since a lot of abnormalities was inherited from the past government, and assured them that her government will make sure that justice and the rule of law will prevail. For GRTS News, Edna Musu reporting.
State prosecutors this morning served the accused persons and defense with new information and charges in the case of the former Director General of the disbanded National Intelligence Agency, Yankuba Baji, and 8 others at the High Court. Our Ibrahim Jata tells us more.
Parties in the criminal trial against the former intelligence chiefs convened in the largest courtroom at the High Court this morning. Court number 1 is a massive hall that accommodates more people than any other courtroom in the Gambia. Yet crowds of spectators and a huge security presence saw it quickly full to the brim. In a rather quick hearing, state prosecution led by MB Abubakar submitted that the state is ready to proceed, as they have filed new charges which were duly served to the defense and accused persons before the court. Defense lawyers who argued that prosecution only provided such information this morning will quickly challenge this submission and ask the court to ensure that the state expedites the case, which has suffered from several delays. In response, the Director of Public Prosecutions, MB Abubakar, highlighted the endeavors being made to accelerate due process and avoid deferments in the case. A quick apology to the defense will be readily accepted before the presiding judge delivered a ruling adjourning the case to the 3rd of April for plea taking. That decision is meant to allow the accused persons to peruse the charges pre-filed against them and seek legal advice from their lawyers. When they return next, the court will take their pleas and perhaps engage prosecutors to call their first witness in the case. Ibrahim Ajata, GRTS.
The Organization of Gambia River Basin has held its 43rd ordinary session of the Council of Ministers meeting in Banjul. The sub-regional forum seeks to integrate programs in addressing key socio-economic issues affecting member states, such as the provision of reliable and affordable energy supply. Mama Jai reports.
The energy problems in OMVG member countries is a reality, for it has impacted on education, health and agriculture. Participants at the OMVG meeting, therefore, believe that the implementation of key OMVG projects would help to minimize the energy crisis in member states. It is against this background that the OMVG energy project was designed to develop the hydroelectric potentials of member countries of Guinea-Conakry, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal and the Gambia. The chairman of the OMVG Council of Ministers, Barus Bakari Banja of Guinea-Bissau, said the OMVG member states have huge energy deficits which has affected the socio-economic lives of the people. He revealed OMVG's plans to host the Round-Table Donor Conference later this year with multinational donors to fund key projects such as the interconnection and hydroelectric development of the Sambangalo Dam, which is estimated at over $1.4 billion. For the Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources Minister Lamin Diba, the theme Time for Action has captured the interest of the people in OMVG countries who have been yearning for reliable and affordable electricity supply for accelerated growth and development.
This initiative by member states is a clear manifestation of their commitment to regional integration that can serve as a platform for African integration. This further demonstrates the spirit of South-South cooperation in solving our common problems.
The Minister of Basic and Secondary Education noted that in order to realize the potentials of the OMVG energy project, member states must be committed to implementing the decisions and resolutions that emerge from the OMVG Banjul meeting. But what will the Gambia gain in all of this? The Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Claudia Nicole, has this to say.
The Gambia is expecting to initial benefit about a total quantity of 80 megawatts of electricity from the Sambangalo Dam facility along the borders of Senegal and Guinea, and the 2 dam facilities of Guinea. This, according to the National Electricity Company Limited of the Gambia, will help address most of the Gambia's current electricity needs.
The sub-region rely on OMVG's much-awaited energy project as member states share similar problems in terms of energy to stimulate uninterrupted electricity supply in OMVG countries. Mama J, GRTS.
Following series of complaints and problems emanating from the public as a result of power shortage on a daily basis, the National Water and Electricity Company this morning held a press conference to inform the general public about some of the challenges facing the institution. Abdullah Baji picks up the rest of that story.
The inadequate supply of electricity in the country, especially in the Greater Banjul area, has been a concern for the past few months, prompting questions to be asked as to what exactly is responsible for this.
Both electricity and water supply is very poor since after the political impasse. No one can tell what the problem is. I think NAWED should try as much as they can to try to see how best they can make the supply at least adequate. They're not telling us what the problem is.
This is a concern for NAWED as officials disclosed that they are working tirelessly in addressing concerns of the citizenry, and first decided to invite us to their major power plants and update the media on the current state of their generators.
In front of us here we have ongoing project, 11 megawatt project. The project is at a very advanced stage, as you see. We are in the construction phase and they are completing the civil works. The major part of this project, including the main machine and the alternative and some of these heavy duty and fuel tanks, are already on site.